Hi, OKB Healthy Pals. It's Jacqueline, and it's Friday, and I'm at OKB Healthy, and I've got all your questions here. We're going to sit down, and we're going to talk about your questions today. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know where you're watching from as you're logging on. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Let me know where you're watching from if you want to. It's cold here today. It's feeling like fall, and I'm trying to warm up my hands. I need a shot of cayenne pepper. So yeah, gonna have some good questions today. Hi, Angela. Happy Friday. She's one of our subscribers. Thanks for being here. If you have your Retemery card, this is the scripture we're memorizing this month. Isaiah 43:19. So get your Retemery cards out if you have one, or not. If not, you can go to your Bible and you can open your Bible up to Isaiah 43:19 and we'll go over it. It's, behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. So that was our Retemery for October. Today is the last day of October. We will have a new Retemery next week, so stay tuned to find out what that is next week. But yeah, think about it, dwell on it, memorize it. It's important to memorize things. It's really good for your brain. It's an exercise for the brain. And we have to exercise every part of the body. And the brain, you can't actually give it some weights and tell it to go work out, right? You have to actually do things that are mentally stimulating, memorizing, reading, those kinds of things you have to do. Okay. So definitely think about that when you're thinking about your mental health. Hi, Mackenzie. Hi, Marina. Hi, Soul. Hi, Emily. Hi, Lisa. I don't think I said that already. Hi, Debbie from Ohio. So we've got some great questions. I wanted to, go ahead and just delve in because there's a lot to go. There's lots of papers. We'll see as far as we can get. Remember, the purpose of these sit-down Fridays, I almost said Saturday, is to minimize disease, optimize health, and propagate knowledge. I'm definitely not giving you medical advice because I can't do that, but I can definitely give you some tips, natural remedies, and things that I would do if I had some of the ailments that you mentioned. So this should be fun, and thank you for sharing your testimonies and your questions with me, by the way. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, Angela. We're going to start with our subscribers. Subscribers always get their questions answered first. So this is from Angela. Angela says, hi, Jacqueline. What do you think about lungwort, and can I use it with your mullein tincture? I love lungwort. I want to start doing more with it. But yes, absolutely. You can definitely use it with our mullein tincture because it's exceptionally good for the lungs, the respiratory system, bronchial system. And it's really good for any kind of infections or any kind of breathing difficulties. Some potential benefits, I took some notes for you. It can alleviate symptoms of respiratory infections, coughs, and bronchitis. It has antimicrobial properties, which is good for combating certain bacteria and fungus. So that's also good if you've been exposed to mold, especially. It also reduces inflammation. So that's important to know, right? If we have inflammation in the body, that will start breeding disease, and we want to limit that inflammation in the body. It protects your cells with antioxidants. So lungwort has a lot of antioxidants in it, and it helps protect them from free radicals and potential oxidative stress. We don't want oxidative stress. So definitely protects your cells. It helps and it supports digestion. So if you're having digestive issues, you could always try lungwort. It has emollient properties, kind of like other herbs we know. Emollient properties are helpful for helping mucous membranes, and it's useful for soothing skin. So it's very good for like the eyes, the chest, the throat, the ears. It has an emollient property in it. So that's a little bit on lungwort. Definitely like it. That's spelled Lungwort, I believe. Yeah, wort, W-O-R-T, not W-A-R-T. Okay. Good morning, everyone. As you're logging in, welcome, welcome, welcome. So that's a little bit, yes. So moving on. Now our next subscriber, Kaz Rose, says, hi, Jacqueline, how to get rid of SIBO overgrowth in the small intestine. Okay, so she has two questions, so we'll do that one first. The best way to do that is make sure your stomach acid is nice and strong, because it starts in the gut. If your gut stomach acid isn't strong, it can't stop harmful bacteria from getting to the gut. So that's one thing you want to do. You can take digest tea. You can stop drinking with your meals. You can try lemon water. You could try cayenne pepper. These are some things you can do on the daily to help you build your hydrochloric acid strength up again. But the most important thing is do not drink with your meals, so it doesn't water down that hydrochloric acid. Also, basically what SIBO is the overgrowth of bad bacteria. Now, we do want some bad bacteria. We want a lot of good bacteria. There's a wonderful balance in the gut, and the body knows what that balance is. So we just want to provide it the right building material, the right cake baking material, so to keep our gut healthy. And those things are definitely cultured foods. Cultured foods are fantastic for balancing. That could be your kombucha, your kimchi. I'm not crazy about kombucha personally, but some people really like it for gut health. Kefir, sauerkraut, yogurt, cultured yogurts. So there are some wonderful goat kefirs too. Kefirs. Yeah. So you could just look into that, make your own sauerkraut, things like that, add to your diet to encourage that microbiome to be healthy. Take a good probiotic 45 minutes before breakfast. That's another thing you could try. But also avoid the foods that hurt the gut and cause your good guys to die. And that is definitely antibiotics, overuse of antibiotics, medications, alcohol, caffeine, refined sugar, things like this. So just be mindful about the chemical exposure, things that you're eating, things that you're not eating that you should be eating. And so make sure you're adding more good things into the gut than bad. You can also repair the gut using slippery elm, aloe. We talked about the digest tea a minute ago. There's also a gut repair powder. All these things can be found on our website, okbehealthy.com, if you're interested in getting any of those things. That's a little bit on that. We just got to touch the surface because there's a lot to get to today. And then your second question was, your daughter has a large cyst on her ovaries. The doctor wants to operate, and you said no. She uses the yam cream, no processed foods or sugars, water, and Celtic salt as well. Thank you. So I would start using a castor oil compress over the abdomen, over the ovaries. Just place that over the abdomen. You could do that every night before bed. That's what I would do. And no caffeine. I noticed you didn't say anything about caffeine, but 0 caffeine. Caffeine is the enemy to women's health. So no caffeine whatsoever. I mean, it's the enemy to everybody's health. But number one, I've seen a lot of issues with women, PCOS, all the major, and I'm trying to blank, but the major endometriosis. There we go. I've seen a huge correlation between those and high intake of caffeine. And you don't even need to have a high intake. It could just be a small intake of every day. So caffeine interferes with your hormonal health, ladies, and gentlemen as well. So no caffeine. If she's drinking caffeine, it must stop. Drink decaffeinated tea. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, and it looks like you're eating well. So keep it up, keep going. But that castor oil, that wild yam cream, those are things that are going to really help balance. And you just have to be consistent and disciplined and staying the course with that. Okay, this one is from Jean Lashley. I wasn't feeling well and decided to apply castor comfrey oil massaged into my feet, covered with wool socks. I noticed the stiffness, inflammation in my entire body, especially lower back, was much less. Does applying it to the bottom of your feet help pull from the entire body? Going to do so again tonight to see if I have the same results. Well, there's that scripture, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. And yes, if it's working for you, do it again. There are very large pores on the bottom of our feet. So it's a great area if you want to quickly deliver things like magnesium into the skin, right? Magnesium, Epsom salt soaks for the feet, and also help draw things from the body, like onions. Onions help, they're a drawer and they help pull things. And it's good to put that on the feet. There's also a great connection, of course, throughout our whole body. God is like the ultimate content maker, because it's like we have all these people on the earth and we all have our own individual fingerprints. We have our own individual look. Like he is the original master builder, the original master mind, the original master content maker, because we're all so different and he never gets bored. It's always something wonderful and different. He always adds. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's that's what they call holistic medicine, where people look at the whole body working together. So it absolutely would not surprise me that that's working for you, because the feet are helping pull out. Absolutely not. So I think you should keep doing it, especially if it's working for you. The feet are especially connected to the chest. So there is a huge correlation there. So when you do onion poultices, especially for a cold or cough, it's very helpful for that. Okay. And of course, if you have questions about what I've just said, I'll be kind of browsing and looking for that to see, and I will answer questions if I catch it on the topic. So if you had any questions about what I just talked about with the lungwort or the mullein or the SIBO or the, let's see, the cyst, ovaries on the cyst, or comfrey oil, castor oil, the feet, all that good stuff, feel free to ask. But I'm going to keep going. This one is from Gloria. Also, I wanted to go back to Kaz Rose's question about the bacterial overgrowth. It's important also to possibly go on a candida cleanse, where you cleanse the body of all yeast buildup and overgrowth of candida. And so that's basically, well, I have another question on it, so we'll talk about that in a minute, what that entails. Okay, I don't see any. All right, we're moving on. Gloria Carroll says, ideas how to treat a lower extremity wound on a 93-year-old lady. It's a deep scrape from a fall in the bathroom. Today I applied a small amount of Manuka honey. It appeared 3 weeks ago. Oh yes, Manuka honey's good. Is there a way you can send me a picture of it to my email, okbehealthy@yahoo.com? I'd like to see what that looks like. There are a few different ways you can treat wounds. My go-to anytime that happens is I always rinse it with hydrogen peroxide, maybe a little healthy soap and water if you think it needs it, with some hydrogen peroxide afterwards. I really like to use aloe for open wounds and sores like that. That was a wound to the body. So that's something I have found a lot of personal testimonies to using aloe. The actual aloe plant, aloe poultice, has really helped very much so. So if you could send a picture, that would be helpful. Not on this, you don't have to send it here. I don't think it'll come through, but the email is best. And then I can help you. But for those of you, the aloe poultice would work. Make sure you leave the outer edge of the skin on. I'm going to do a class one of these months on poultices and do more poultices like grape poultice, aloe poultices, flaxseed poultice, some fig poultice, things that aren't as common, but they actually work very well, to show you guys these. But the aloe, basically you would cut the flat end of the aloe leaf. You cut that side off, and you would leave the outer leaf, the outer skin on. The green leaf on the outer part of the gel of the aloe is what keeps it alive and keeps it healing. As soon as you cut both of those off, it will dry up and it won't work. So, and you put that on the wound and you leave it for about 24 hours, because that gives it enough time to make a new skin. And I'm telling you, it works. I've seen a wound that should have had a skin graft. Personally, my husband, we were able to, encourage the body to heal using aloe, and it should have had a skin graft, and you don't need it. It just brought that skin right back together, because aloe has a healing stimulant in it. It is naturally healing. And if you think about it, if you've ever cut a piece of aloe, like the aloe plant that I have, when I've cut it, the next day it's completely fused shut. It is so fast at regenerating and regrowing and healing. Thank you, Angela. That's so sweet. Thank you for the stars. So that's a little on that. But yeah, I think that's fine. You need to just make sure it's clean. Make sure you put it in the sunshine sometimes, if you can get that place in the sunshine. Yeah. And if you can show me a picture, I can give you a little bit more personal tips on that. Okay, Frida Good said, what can help COPD? So for anybody who talks about COPD, I always want to know a little history. Like, do you have a history of smoking? Do you have a history of working in like cement or something that's going to cause bronchial irritation from breathing in certain things? So that's usually what I always ask. So if Rita, if you're here, that'd be good to know if you feel like sharing. Obviously, you guys don't have to answer any of the questions that I ask you. If you feel like you need more privacy, you can schedule a consultation, or you can email me something short and quick. But that's usually what I ask, is usually what the history is. There's always a history. There's always a why that is there, whether you were the smoker or someone else was the smoker, or, you grew up in a home and they just smoked around you all the time, no fresh air. The important thing is to make sure you're detoxing from whatever that was, whether it was a heavy metal, whether it's smoke, what you got to figure out what it was and start detoxing. Assisting the liver in the detoxification process, because it's a domino effect. When you're helping the liver, the whole body, it's this body's project manager, right? It's the boss. And so when liver is happy and healthy, then the body can start to heal and repair too. You can definitely look into black seed oil, which we're going to talk about black seed oil in a little bit. It's good for the chest, the breathing, the bronchioles. Castor oil compresses over the chest help break up scar tissue and abnormal issues. I would encourage the person to nose breathe. I know that sounds really difficult when you're having the difficult breathing, but studies have shown that nose breathing is a great corrector of breathing disorders. Dr. Breath, it's a great book. He's originally was the one that kind of discovered that, but nose breathing is definitely of God. It says that God breathed in the nostrils, in man's nostrils, the breath of life, and we became a living soul. So there's something to it, to nose breathing. So if you need to use a little piece of tape to encourage yourself and remind yourself to nose breathe during the day, do that. When you get really confident in nose breathing during the day, also try it at nighttime. You're not going to die. Your body will rip off that tape. I will tell you, you will wake up with tape on the floor if you're just unconsciously not aware, and you're uncomfortable, you will take it off. It's happened over and over and over again. But you can still breathe out the sides. So I would definitely look into mouth tape. There's mullein, there's plantain, there's wonderful herbs that are helpful for the lungs and to help. But the best thing is to really address where it came from, why it came from, or where it came from, how you got it. And you can also look into enemas. Enemas are helpful to help relieve anything that comes to the chest. Try onions on the feet as well, because the feet and the chest are definitely connected. And I believe the feet are actually connected to the whole body, right? Our whole body's connected to each other. So it all works together for good. And the purpose of keeping us alive and well. Okay. Vita says, tell me more about black seed oil benefits, dosage, and best way to consume. There's a lot of great ways you can take black seed. I personally have never taken it. I don't really take a lot of things, unless I have an ailment. But typically when I have an ailment, it's usually due to dehydration. So I know I need to up my water again. Or kind of acknowledge maybe I'm detoxing, chemicals or something. So personally, I don't take it, but I know a lot of people that do, and I know that it's fantastic for you if you feel like you need it. Some of the skin health, it has skin health benefits, respiratory health benefits. We're going to go into the benefits of black seed oil here. Some of those benefits can be acne healing, wound healing, psoriasis and eczema, rosacea. These are things that it can be very helpful for because of the antibacterial properties, anti-inflammatory properties, also just overall antioxidants when it's applied. People are applying the oil to the actual acne to help. You can also take it internally, and people have seen putting it on a wound has been very helpful. Respiratory health-wise, it's good for asthma relief. So for anyone who has asthma issues, because it's so studies have shown that it helps reduce inflammation, and so a lot of times there's a lot of inflammation there when we get into those asthma attacks or breathing issues. It's good for people who have allergy symptoms, allergic reactions, weight management, and metabolic health. So it's great for weight loss. It's great for blood sugar control. So if you are having a hard time losing weight, you could try black seed oil. Or if you're having a hard time manage your blood sugar, you could try black seed oil. I always recommend trying one thing new at a time so you know what it is, rather than taking a million things at once. You may not know what exactly you're doing or what's causing the irritation. Immune support. through the anti-inflammatory properties. It's great for hair health and digestive health. So those are some good reasons why to take flaxseed. And remember, you don't need to just take things because, well, you know, if everything's fine, don't worry about it. What's the saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, you know, if you're working fine, then don't worry about it. But if you feel like you need a little extra help, then go for it. And make sure it's organic, make sure it's cold pressed, make sure it's natural. We have some here. We have it in capsule and liquid form. And I believe it's on our website. If not, I'll double check that this afternoon and get that on there for you guys. But you make sure you just have a good flaxseed oil. Let's see. Rhonda says, Rhonda Masoff. My husband is having acid reflux and filled with gas. What is the best things to eat to restore good gut health? So she says 2 things that come to mind are sauerkraut and yogurt. What is the best things to eat? Well, first I would suggest what are the things that he is eating and stop eating, what not to eat should be number 1, asking, him this. What should we not be eating, honey? And you probably have a good idea of what that is, what he eats that is causing issues in the body. So stop those things. It's not worth it. It is not worth your sabotage. It's self-sabotage when you look at something and you know exactly it's going to hurt you. You know, you wouldn't put a poisonous snake in a baby's crib and say, there you go. But I think you'll have fun playing with that snake. It could bite you and it's poisonous, but hey, like, no. You wouldn't put any danger, with anything when you knew there was a possibility of anything, dangerous happening. But we do the same thing to our bodies every day when we know that when we consume something and it could be anything. It could be watching something, evil on TV. It could be, bad acquaintances. It could be, reading something, and it could be eating something. You have to watch all your gates. Your eye gates, your ear gates, your everything. You have to watch it, because it may not be beneficial to you, and you have to know the long run is more important than just right now. So if he is eating, and comes to everybody, I'm talking to myself too. No one's in trouble. You have to be careful, and you have to say, is this really benefiting me? Is it worth it? Am I self-sabotaging myself? If so, it's not coming in my body. So number 1, stop the things that he's eating that is not good for him and causing him to have gas and causing him to have acid reflux. Now, it can take some time to heal and repair. So give yourself time. Don't expect it just to happen in a day. So, there's a lot of things that come with acid reflux. The biggest thing is to strengthen his hydrochloric acid by not drinking with his meals. So he needs to stop drinking with his meals. He needs to make sure he is drinking plenty of water before and after meals. So 30 minutes before he needs to stop, and about an hour and a half after he can start drinking water again. Avoid foods that are toxic to the health, which we just talked about. You may need to take a magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate. Those are some of the most bioavailable magnesiums. There are others as well, and there are other magnesiums that are helpful for specific things. But you could look into magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate to help with the reflux, to help relax those muscles, to help him. Do not eat really late at night. We eat the largest meal right before bed, and then we go and lay down, and all that pressure is going straight up, and that is not good. So you want to make sure you go to bed with an empty stomach, and it gives your body a chance to also rest. The body wants to rest when you rest. It's like being on night shift and day shift, nonstop. Your body wants to rest. Can you imagine if you worked 24/7 and never rested? Well, your stomach is not getting to rest. Your body is not getting to rest. If you are eating food too late at night, your body has to work 24/7, because then people get up and they eat again, and they just start over, and they eat all day long, and they eat the biggest meal before bed, and the poor body is just overworked and tired. So you got to give it some break there. Yes, cultured foods are really great for helping digestion. But it sounds more to me that he's got to start eating better foods. And he needs to not drink with his meals. Now, I don't know what he's doing, so I forgive me if he's doing all the right things, but typically I don't see anyone doing all the right things and having all these problems. So yes, but those are some, cultured foods, which we talked about earlier. Cultured foods are good. Sauerkraut, kombucha, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But if you like it, you could drink a little every day. Yogurts, coconut oil yogurt, coconut milk yogurts are good too. Goat milk yogurts are good. There's kefirs, there's kimchi, sourdough. But if somebody's having gut issues, I just tell them to avoid all wheat, even sourdough, for a little while. So those are some things to help. And repairing the gut is good. We're going to talk about that in a little bit when we talk about diverticulitis, so stay tuned for that. Lisa says, hello, what's the best way to raise vitamin D levels besides the sun? If I don't take a supplement, my level is low. I'd like to take less supplements. Tincture option? Well, I love the sunshine. I get all my sunshine from the sun, my vitamin D from no kidding. You get all your sunshine from the sun. That's nice. I get all my sunshine, my vitamin D from the sun. Mostly when I've taken supplements of vitamin D, it gives me a major headache. So I know that I'm not supplements really aren't my thing. My body doesn't like it. My body just likes it in the natural way. And my body also doesn't really care for fortified. So, when they add it, fortified is like when they add it into like cereals or milks or things. You can find a lot of wonderful international units. I use are the international units for vitamin D. Salmon has 447, sardines 270, cod liver oil 1,360, egg yolk 41 units. Pretty cool. Fortified, right? These aren't fortified either. These are just naturally occurring international units of vitamin D that can be found in that. So make sure it's very clean, make sure it's wild, make sure it's organic. And those are some things you can look into for encouraging natural vitamin D through food rather than supplements. I'm sure there is some kind of liquid vitamin D you could take, but it sounds like you don't want to do supplements. So I would say get in the sun every day, 15 minutes, and then maybe take one of those things. And if you're plant-based, then you may want to just consider a very clean vitamin D supplement. Although there may be some vitamin D and other things, you'll have to look it up. Look up vitamin D and plant-based options. See what happens. Okay. Shirley Wood says, what is the best way to take magnesium? Capsules, cream, or oil? Well, what's neat about magnesium, it's really just what you think is best for you and how your body absorbs it best. Sorry, I have something in my eye. And so that's first and foremost. See which way your body prefers it. Like I was just saying, my body prefers vitamin D when I just go in the sunshine rather than taking a supplement. Ooh, got something right in my eye. So that's the first thing to think about is how does your body like to get magnesium better? How do you feel works better for you? There's some pros and cons, like when you do transdermal, which means topically into the skin, it seems to be absorbed faster, but it may not be as strong. Whereas if you take magnesium orally, it could be a lot stronger, but also cause you to have some possible digestive issues, digestive upset, because like citrate, if you take too much, you'll get diarrhea. So be careful. So those are some reasons why some people may not want to take magnesium internally and just do topically. Maybe it irritates their gut too much, but you might just be taking too much. And when you do topically, it has less digestive upset. So those are some things you can look at. Okay. Elmer says, or Emer Borg. I'm predisposed to diabetes. My family members seem to get type 2 in their 60s despite healthy diet and weight and exercise. I'm 57. What must I do not to be like them? I occasionally have maple syrup and desserts. Not much. Thank you. So type 2 is typically a lifestyle disease. And I always tell people it ran into the family till it ran into you. So don't accept any kind of curses on your life. Oh, and it starts with vocalizing, right? Like your grandma or your mom Even your great grandma might say something to grandma, might say something to mom, which says something to you, and it just keeps being passed on, passed on, passed on. But remember, it ran into the family till it ran into you, and that's when you decide, no, I'm not going to do those things. I'm going to make these healthy choices. I'm going to eat well. I'm going to take care of myself. And it depends on, so it doesn't sound like you have it at all. So make sure you're doing all the right things. Make sure you're drinking your water. Make sure you're getting good sleep. Make sure you're avoiding refined sugar and high refined carbohydrates. Make sure you're balancing your hormones. Make sure you're getting great sunshine. You're trusting in the Lord and you're not thinking on negative things and these curses that people put on you by saying such things. Those are things I would do. And I haven't met anyone that does all the right things and has gotten type 2 diabetes. So there's usually something that they can find, okay, you know what I mean, that led them to the type 2 diabetes. Not always. There are times, but for the most part, it's usually that they're not willing to make dietary lifestyle changes, that they're still holding on to that soda, those terrible choices of refined sugar, drinking too much caffeine, or any caffeine is too much caffeine in my opinion. But I can't really know that without talking too much. But that's what I would do, is just make sure you're doing all the things, and you really don't have to worry about it. When you do the right things, you're providing your body all that it needs to take care of itself. If you feel like you really need like a glucose monitor, you can get one of those little pricks, the blood test, and you could test your blood in the mornings just for, maybe do it once a month, just for your heart. So you feel like, okay, I feel good. I know I can cast my care to God and I don't have to worry about this. But make sure, okay, so this is from Rosemary Goodman. Ideas on how to treat extremely dry mouth. So one is make sure you're not drinking any caffeine or alcohol. You don't want to take anything into the body that is dehydrating. So an acidic. So make sure that is gone, that you're not drinking it and you're taking any of that. What kind of, are you on medications? If so, check into all the side effects of those medications. Typically, a lot of times people are on medications that are causing the dry mouth. Coconut oil pulling. I would take a teaspoon of coconut oil and swish for about 20 minutes, spit it outside. That will help to clean the mouth. And so that's one thing I would do daily. Don't swallow it, spit it outside. Okay, Rhonda said, thank you for answering my question for my husband who's listening with me. No problem, Rhonda. And if you guys have any questions or you want to say anything back to what I was saying, feel free to. I'll look for it. But I'm glad you guys can apply those things. Coconut oil pulling. Okay, so dry mouth. Cut onions, eat raw onion. Eat raw onion. I know that you're thinking the Grinch here, right? But the Grinch can eat an onion. My boys actually love to eat raw onion. They will eat raw onion like an apple. It is the craziest thing ever. I tend not to love raw onion. And if you have a feeble stomach, definitely don't do that. But onion will definitely open up that sinus cavity, the nose, the mouth, the throat, the chest. So healing, so good for you, natural antibiotic, but also it will definitely get some saliva going for the mouth. So you can eat some raw onion. You can chop onion in your home, chop it so your eyes start to water and your nose starts to run. That's what I'm talking about. Marshmallow root has an emollient in it. We also read, was it blackseed oil, or was it, no, not blackseed oil. It was lungwort earlier. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Your water needs a plethora of water. Your body needs a plethora of water to fulfill all its daily checklists and needs for your body. Saliva, check. Tears, check. Sweat, check. Urine, check. Brain, check. Synovial fluid, check. Do you see what I'm saying here? Water is the main ingredient in a lot of the body's to-do lists for your day. So drink your water. Chamomile is a very good idea for a tea, or peppermint tea. Those are good. Eating crunchy fruits and vegetables will stimulate your saliva to get going. Ginseng is also very good. I have a homemade mouthwash recipe you could try for dry mouth, and that's basically a cup of water with 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Make sure the water's warm, put the baking soda in, mix, and you're just gonna rinse, spit, rinse, spit, and over until you're done with the whole cup. So you could try that. Maybe rinse for, I don't know, 5 seconds and spit. You could even chew as you're swishing, or maybe rest and chew. I don't know if you can rest and swish or chew and swish. But that mimics saliva. That rinse will help mimic saliva for a little bit and help encourage your mouth to make saliva. So try that. Remember, at night, our mouth doesn't make saliva. So if you have dry mouth at night, that's common. I would consider using a piece of mouth tape to remind you to keep your mouth shut while you're sleeping and nose breathe. So do that. Try those things. Some fun tips. Okay, Angie McMillan said, Aguilar says, can you eat raw onions while having gastritis? Your body will tell you that. You could try it like a little piece and find out how it works. Or you could just chew the onion and spit it out, but you'll still be accessing the beautiful properties of helping your sinus cavity open. And if you guys have cut an onion, which everybody mostly has, you'll see what it does, right, to the sinuses. Clears you out. But yeah, your body will tell you if you can eat raw onion or not. And I would always start with a little bit at a time. Okay, Angie McMillan says, hi, Jacqueline. I'm wondering if you could recommend a remedy for fluid buildup on my outer ankle bones and a few of my knuckles. It is soft and squishy and maybe $half sized on both ankles. I've been diagnosed with RA and have managed it without medication. However, my joints have suffered and have damage. I want to applaud you for not wanting medications. So the next step is just make sure you're giving your body all the things it needs then to combat the RA, and we're going to talk about that. I have been using a castor oil compress with Comfrey every night on my knuckles for about 7 days. So far, little change. But the pain level has decreased. Well, that's good. That's because the castor oil and the Comfrey aren't really necessarily diuretics. So they're not going to really help the water, but they're definitely going to help the pain. So that makes sense that that's working. She says, I drink my water and use my Celtic salt. She knew what I was going to ask her. She's probably watched a few of these. So, okay, good. As long as, that's the first thing I always ask is make sure you're getting that little bit of Celtic salt, that little bit of magnesium, so it helps bring water into the cell. So you're doing that, so that's great news. The next thing I would suggest is eat more potassium-rich foods, like a banana. Banana is rich in potassium. It also has cayenne pepper is rich in potassium, so take a shot of cayenne or take some capsules of cayenne before a meal. Cucumbers are also rich in potassium. I would take magnesium citrate because that is like a natural diuretic, but it also helps pull the water out of areas that shouldn't be. So some citrate, don't take too much. You can get diarrhea. B6, and B6 is in bananas. Isn't that cool? So definitely some B6, look into taking for that. Wild yam cream. Oh, well, let me finish with the retention, and then I'm going to talk about your RA. I know that wasn't your question, but I'm going to answer it. I'm going to follow all the way through on your question for you. Where's my little sheet on fluid retention? Here it is. So fluid retention, I want to talk about that. So what's happening, what she's describing, is fluid retention for sure. They always say to reduce your sodium intake, and that is true. The table salt sodium is no good for you. You want to increase ever so gently and cautiously and mindfully the mineral salt. Don't go eat a ton, but you can eat 1 to 6 crystals or a pinch 8 to 12 times a day before every glass of water. Go easy, go slow. If you're used to no salt, then go easy, go slow. And take it easy on that. If you start to get swelling, then go back and just stay at that for a while, and then maybe think about increasing more salt later. Increasing your potassium, which I just said. Also, sweet potatoes are rich in potassium. Spinach are rich in potassium. We talked about magnesium and B6. There's also a lot of great magnesium and B6 in nuts and grains. Sorry, nuts and whole grains. That would be in magnesium, but no hybridized wheat. So be mindful. And B6 can be found in healthy fish, potatoes, non-citrusy foods. Natural diuretics. Let's talk about those. But this isn't to lose weight, guys. It's important to still drink your water. Don't stop drinking water. That's not the reason. There's other reasons why there's water rushing to the area. And so those are dandelion, and dandelion's also rich in potassium. Ding, ding, ding. How cool is that? Potassium is rich in dandelion, so take some dandelion root tea. You can drink that. You could do a mix of the leaf and the root and the flower if you want to. Once it comes spring, maybe after we let the bees have some of the dandelions, you could harvest some fresh dandelion and have some. Never take all. Always leave some for the bees. Save for the bees, please. Parsley and hibiscus are very good. They're mild diuretics too, and you can make those into teas. Watermelon. Have you ever noticed when you eat watermelon, you just go to the bathroom for hours? When I was in Romania, they served us a watermelon for lunch. And it was it was like one giant watermelon split into fours, and everybody got a big chunk of watermelon. I ate the whole thing before bed, and that was not before bed. I think it was like it was a little later than normal. It was like 7:00 and we were starving. And I ate that whole thing around 7 p.m.-ish, and I had to go to the bathroom all night long. So it is true. It is true. So watermelon. Now, if you have diabetes or you're watching your sugar, then obviously don't do the watermelon. Use common sense here, people. And cucumbers. Cucumbers are very good. They help. They're also hydrating, but they also reduce swelling. So those are things you can think about taking internally to help with the water retention. If anybody has a lot of serious water retention. And then, of course, watch your diet. Take out all the bad food. You can't expect to get well if you are not providing your body all the right building material. Any contractor, any construction worker, any person who's had remodeling done in their house will tell you that if they don't have the right, like for example, if the homeowner picked out a light fixture and they come and they bring you something that you didn't pick out, you're going to notice and you're not going to like it and you're not going to want to use it, and no, right? Same thing with the contractor construction workers. They want the right materials that they ordered and they like to work with and they like to use because it's going to be strong. It's going to last a lifetime or last X amount of years or whatever it is. We have to give our body the same thing. Our body is no different. It must have the right ingredients to heal, to build, to regrow, to regenerate. It's quite incredible what our bodies can do when we give it the right things. So it always starts with you, first and foremost. Remember, our body needs our assistance and our help. We work for our body and our body will work for us. We provide what our body needs and the body can work well for us. It's a symbiotic relationship. We got to work together. We got to come together in our body, and we have to do it together to help our body. Okay, now, next. Oh, we got through that page. Doing good on time, everybody. Doing good on time. Lynette says, I have terrible sweating probably since menopause, and I can't just do a plain deodorant because I sweat and it smells. And I'm just wondering what that could be, hormones, what kind of natural thing I could use, because it's really preventing me from wearing certain shirts because I sweat so much. I do use your wild yam cream and have constantly for over a year now. Thank you. Number one, what kind of clothes are you wearing? If you're wearing plastic clothes, you're going to see sweat for sure through a lot of the plastic clothing. So make sure your clothing is healthy. Make sure it's wool, make sure it's cashmere, make sure it's cotton, make sure it's, hemp, natural. You're looking viscose, bamboo. You're looking for natural clothing. Cotton's breathable. Make sure it's not too tight. You don't want to wear really tight clothing. So these are some things to look into. Your wardrobe. Make sure you're not wearing plastic water bottles, guys. Your skin matters. Your body matters. Your warmth matters. Don't be wearing plastic, especially in the wintertime or any time. There's no good time to wear plastic clothing ever. Nope. You feel so good when you wear real clothing. I've got a cashmere shirt on today. I've got my wool jumper here. I'm using it as a blanket. I've got my cotton blue jeans on, and I'm feeling good. So make sure you're wearing healthy clothing. Okay, start small. Where do you start? You start just When you need a new shirt, you do not compromise. That new shirt is going to be cotton. No matter if you love a brand, and I've done this. You go into the store and you're like, I love this shirt. Oh my gosh. It's plastic. Put it back. Put it back. You don't love it. You don't love it that much. Nope. Look for cotton. And so all the things you need will now be replaced with cotton, wool, bamboo, anything healthy, but don't buy the garbage. Don't do it. And we spend $60 on plastic. They're making a killing on killing you. Okay, enough with my spiel on that, Jacqueline. Back to the question. So my other question would be, how much caffeine are you drinking? Caffeine seriously causes you to sweat. Everyone, do you hear this? Caffeine causes people to sweat a lot. Night sweats, sweating during the day, sweat. Don't drink caffeine. It's not good for your body, not good for your adrenals, not good for anything. You're sweating because the body's thinking you're seeing a tiger on the path, or needs to run for its life because of the adrenals and all the hormones in the system pumping, like you're in flight or fight mode, or the fight or flight mode. There we go. So it's just tricking your body. And so that's why people sweat a lot. And then the after effects are sweat. It's just not good. Okay, back to this. How's your blood sugar? I don't know if you're watching, but your blood sugar, make sure your blood sugar is balanced. We're talking about too much sweating. Definitely don't go to a surgeon and get your sweat glands taken out. That is the most absurd thing. Don't do that. That's one of the ways your body's detox. Okay? Don't do it. Make sure your thyroid is balanced. Your thyroid. So you want to be making sure that the thyroid is balanced. Those are some reasons why you could have a lot of sweating. Also, if you are wearing synthetic clothing, if you are eating garbage food, if you are sleeping in sheets that are garbage, plastic garbage bags, by synthetic, you want cotton, flannel, something lovely. It's warm, get some nice warm sheets on since the weather's changing. If you live somewhere cold, get some beautiful or cotton flannel or cotton sheets or something nice and warm. I got my flannels on, or coming. I got them washing, actually. I'm excited about that. She says that her sweat also smells. So that has to do with your diet. If you're eating refined sugar, gluten, hybridized wheat, sometimes dairy, if it's not organic, or if it is, sometimes people have issues with dairy. Peanuts have a lot of mold. Oats can cause inflammation. You've really got to go through your diet. Caffeine makes people stink. So, Christine Perkins says, no kind of coffee? No kind of coffee, not even decaf, because they actually use chemicals to remove the caffeine out of decaf. So just a nice herbal tea or a hot water, or you could try Ticino made out of natural, made out of herbs that taste like coffee. You can find that on our website. But if you want more information, read a book called Caffeine Blues. And that will open your eyes. And also, you're the best experiment. Stop drinking it. See what happens. You'll be blown away. You will be blown away. I'm telling you. The people that promote this, and the doctors and the nurses, I'm sorry to say, that promote drinking coffee, they are addicted to coffee. They love it. They don't want to let it go. So, of course, they're going to say, oh, it's good for this, it's good for that, and it's good for mental clarity. But if you ever wanted to take over a city, all you have to do is block their coffee intake, because no one will be able to function for about a month. People will be really in a foggy state of mind. But it gets worse when you detox out of coffee before it gets better. And now I lost all my followers and no one's watching this anymore. Okay, moving on. So wild yam cream also will help balance your hormones, balance the thyroid. She said she was on it. So I would say, which one are you using? And you may need to up your type of wild yam cream. Maybe use one with Dong Quai for hot flash relief, also for sweats and things like that. Okay. Joe and Tommy says, hi, Jacqueline. I'm trying to decide on purchasing your Eye Bright wash or drops. My right eye waters excessively in the cold air. I'm staying hydrated. Thank you. So yes, eyes that water nonstop typically are due to diet. There's usually an allergen in the blood. Okay, Aguilera says she's going to quit coffee today. I want to know, take note, and I want you to report back to us what you experienced this next week. Okay? That's your homework, of what you experienced this next week getting off coffee. And if you have to go slowly, that's okay too. We understand. But I'm excited for you. Good job. You won't regret it. You will not regret it. Getting off caffeine is one of the best decisions I ever made for my mental clarity, for my skin, for my energy levels, for everything. It's actually opposite. They teach you and talk to you and they tell you that you have to have coffee to think clearly, to go. It's cool. I run on coffee and whatever those shirts say. And I get it, guys. I get it. I used to think that way, but it's actually not true. It's actually the furthest thing from true. It's actually a big lie. Okay. It's just a drug. You're just addicted. Wow. I am on a coffee tangent. I'm so sorry. Let me get back to this. Okay. Right eyes watering excessively, are typically due, to allergens in the bloodstream. And so I would consider just go through your diet with a fine tooth comb, and just see if there's any other thing that could be bothering you. Oats, peanuts, anything like that. Have you tried castor oil on the eyes? You could try that. Eye Bright is very good. Eye Bright is good. You could try the Eye Bright. You could try either. You could try Euphrasia. That's one you take internally. You can try making an eye wash with the Eye Bright. You wouldn't need the cayenne pepper. But yeah, that's something you can try. You can definitely try it. Yeah, sometimes those things you just have to kind of experiment with the diet and see what's going on. Or if there's any chemicals or, yeah. Okay. Anna says, hello, Jacqueline. What would you recommend for constant yeast infection after a total hysterectomy due to ovarian cancer? I have been using your wild yam cream for months now. It seems to help with surgical menopause side effects a lot, but sometimes hot flashes get really bad. So if you aren't using the plus or the extreme, I would start using the whipped wild yam cream, plus or extreme. We have a couple different ones. We have a mild that's chasteberry free. It just has wild yam. So that's something for like little ones, well, when I say little ones, like 9 or 10 that are going through puberty, getting a period too young, developing too young, boys who are developing breasts, things like that. That's a good one to do. And then there's our regular comes, with the wild yam and the chasteberry, Vitex berry is also known as, we have one scented that's geranium, and then we have one that is just regular, just smells like herbs. Okay, it smells like herbs, you guys. So if you're not used to natural smelling things, you may want to do geranium. I like natural smelling things. It doesn't bother me. I like it. Then we have a plus. So the plus has the Dong Quai added. Dong Quai is for hot flash relief. And there's an extreme, which also has the Dong Quai. It has black cohosh, evening primrose, red clover, maca. So it has a lot more herbs to help with hormone balancing. And then the plus just has the Dong Quai for added hot flash relief. We also make one for men because you know what? Men are also having hormonal imbalances. They're going through all the things that women are going through too, silently, because they're not talking about it. And some are talking about it, some aren't. Some just think, oh, it's just getting old, but actually it's hormonal imbalances because they're being exposed to synthetic estrogen just as much as we are, through meat, through clothing, through chemicals, through medications, through the water. It's everywhere. So, men and women can use the regular. So, okay. So that's a little bit on the wild yam. You apply it twice a day. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. If you're a woman, you apply it you can do inner wrist, inner arm. You can do the thighs. You can do, the feet, the bottom of the feet, if you find yourself sensitive. Did I say tummy? Tummy, face, neck. You alternate the places. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. 1 week off is during your period. If you have a period, if you don't have a period, you still take a week off. You can pick the week off you want to take. Men do not take a week off because they don't have a period. They're not cyclic like women, because men aren't women. Men are men, women are women. We're different. We have different parts. God made us differently. He made man and he made a woman. So you have to take those, differently. Men take no break. They take it twice a day, no break. And sometimes hormonal imbalances can take a very long time to see, relief. And sometimes it takes no time at all. It's real quick. To see some relief. So that's what I would ask is which one are you taking? If so, maybe take the Dong Quai or the extreme to help with those extra hot flashes. What else was her question? Let's see. But her constant yeast infections. Yeah. So I would consider going on a candida cleanse and removing all, and stop feeding the yeast. Stop feeding, the bad bacteria, so to speak. And you do that by stopping bread, stopping wheat, stopping sugar, all sugar. You could do a candida cleanse where you just completely go on a cleanse for 6 weeks. You can go longer. Some people feel great going 12 weeks. And it gives your body a complete reset. That's no fruit at all. So you may want to consider doing this during the new year, or just try to make really good changes now, and during the holiday, have a little something here and there, but goes right after it, come the new year, after the holiday. But really, it's a 6 to 12 week thing, and you don't eat sugars, you don't eat breads, you don't drink alcohol, which this is all kind of obvious. Anything that will feed the bad bacteria, the yeast. You alternate between some anti-candida herbs, antimicrobial, antifungal herbs, and that's olive leaf. There is oregano. There is paw di arco. There is garlic. There is ginger. There's all kinds of wonderful things. We were reading about black seed oil. You could probably use black seed oil. And these are things you alternate. So for those 12 weeks, you can go like 1 to 2 weeks on oregano. And then the next 1 to 2 weeks, you would do olive leaf. And the next 1 to 2 weeks, you could do grapefruit seed extract if you're not on medications. The next week, you could do 1 to 2 weeks on paw di arco. So those are things you would consider to kill the yeast. It doesn't hurt to start taking those right now, taking one of those right now, oregano. It doesn't really help to take all of them at once. I'm sure you can, but it's really nice to kind of switch it up on the bacteria. They don't know what's coming next, kind of thing. They didn't see it coming until they were gone. No, the body destroyed you. So make sure, to maybe look into doing that and helping. You can put a piece of garlic clove, not smash, but you can put a garlic clove up in vaginally, and you can leave that. It will come out naturally within usually 12 to 24 hours. That will come out, but you don't crush the garlic. You just put 1 clove of garlic. You could try doing something like that if you wanted something topically. Also, you could try a castor oil, not castor oil, coconut oil. You could try coconut oil, applying coconut oil in that area to help. So those are some things you can look into doing. Darcy says, I have a couple loved ones who vaccinated. What are the best herbs? Herbs to get to, nutraceuticals to rid the body. I've heard some really great things. There's a lot of different protocols, so I really recommend you researching, learning, talking to other people about, or listening to other people who are familiar with this. One of them is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. She does a lot when it comes to the vaccines. There's a Dr. Tina Peers, Peers. She's, you'll have to find them online. You won't find much on Facebook. You might find some, but they're usually shunned and not allowed because they speak too much truth. We make a tincture, which is a clear and detox tincture. I'll let you read the first part there. And we put the 3 things that are needed to help detox. That's dandelion root, zinc, and white pine needle. So we infuse that into our tincture to help with that as well. There's a homeopathic remedy called Thuja. There are great chelator herbs like cilantro, chlorella, spirulina, wheatgrass, any dark leafy greens that are going to really help you. You can look into doing that too. Charcoal. Charcoal's great. Never with medications. About an hour away from a medication. Lisa Lynn, my 88-year-old dad has macular degeneration in one eye, a hole in his retina in the other eye, 2 failed surgeries to correct it, and glaucoma in both eyes. He's been getting eye injections for years. I hate that for him, plus it's no longer working. And he's losing what little sight he has left. That just makes me want to cry. I bought your eye wash for my eye pressure. Do you think it might help his eye issues? Wow, you guys, this is what doctors are doing. And nothing's working. Nothing is working. So personally, stop the eye injections. Stop putting needles in the eye. It's not working. 2 failed surgeries, eye injections for years, and things are getting worse. just enough is what I would do. No more. Obviously, it has to be y'all's choice, his choice. But I would definitely learn confidently how to do the eye wash rinses for yourself. That way, when you teach him, you know what you're doing and you're talking about, so that you can make him feel confident about what he needs to be doing. But yes, definitely teach him how to wash his eyes. I would definitely add the cayenne pepper to help heal. I would definitely add castor oil. I would have him put castor oil on his eyelids every day. And I would have him put castor oil on the eye at night to remind him that his eyesight might be blurry. So make sure he has Kleenexes so he can like wipe the eye, you know, like here and here. But definitely keep the castor oil on top of the eyelid. And yes, definitely look into doing that. Change up the diet, talk to him about his diet, go over with the importance of eating dark leafy green vegetables, fruits, vegetables, drinking water. You know, even if you taught him how to make a smoothie every day with all natural ingredients, that's going to be so much better. If you got him drinking a healthy juice, not one you just buy in the store, but like fresh juices. These are things that are going to definitely help the eye. Eye bright, what is it, lutein for the eye. There's a lot of great herbs that are fantastic for the eyes. So ginkgo biloba, bilberry, fennel. It's interesting, a lot of these same herbs that are good for the eyes are really good for the blood, and they're good for people who are trying to manage their blood sugar. Eye bright, saffron, either cooking with saffron or taking saffron. Those are some things that help with the eye health and healing. But yes, absolutely, I think you're onto something by asking about the eye wash for him. Okay. Anna says, did I do this one? I did do that one. Okay. I was moving backwards. Jacqueline says, hi, please share again the name of the multivitamin you shared the other day. I took a picture, but it wasn't clear. I need to get one for my teenager. Yes, it's by Pure Synergy. Pure Synergy. Pure Synergy. Synergy. There's a multivitamin. There's for anyone, basically. There's one for women. There's one for men. There's a 2-a-day for men. There's 2-a-day for women. There's a 4-a-day for women. There's a 4-a-day for men. And then there's just a simple multivitamin that I actually have my teenagers take. I have all teenagers now. I can't say kids, although they'll always be my babies, so that doesn't matter. Okay. Kiki said, hemorrhoids. How to treat this? Yes, we have a really great hemorrhoid essential oil. It's called Hemorrhoid Relief. It's called Peace Please. Hey, Jonas, yeah. Can you go get me a piece, please, so I can show them this essential oil for them? Thank you. They're doing their school, but I'm going to have them help me. Can you hand me a piece, please? I want to show them Peace Please. That is fantastic for hemorrhoids. It's also great for age spots, by the way. The wonderful infusion of essential oils. It's very good to use topically. We have it on our website, and Jonas is going to go find one to show you. So I'll be back with that in a minute so you can see. Also, colon T. The best thing for hemorrhoids is to prevent constipation. So make sure you are not constipated. Make sure you're staying regular. You may need to take colon T to help you out in the beginning, but then you need to address why you're not going on your own. Make sure you're not eating refined carbohydrates. Watch out for, anything that will stuff up the colon. Exercising, drinking water. These are good things to be doing. Make sure you're doing those things as well. You can make your own, suppositories by getting a plastic glove and melting coconut oil, 50% coconut oil, 50% castor oil. Mix those two together and then pour them into the fingers of the glove. You'll need someone to help you. Use a syringe, it's easier. And then you tie the fingers off. With dental floss, works great. Thank you, buddy. And then what you do is you freeze it. It might take some time to freeze. And then you insert that rectally at night. Make sure you wear a pad so that way it doesn't leak all over your sheets and all over your pajamas. And another thing you can try is aloe, frozen pieces of aloe. So you could use that as a suppository as well and help that. Depends on what what the area looks like. If it's really inflamed, whether or not that will work for you. You may need the aloe to defrost a little bit so it's not so frozen when you insert it. But this is the Peace Please that we have on our website. It's ideal for hemorrhoid relief. We have so many wonderful testimonies of folks using this for all of their relief. It's from Australia. It's made with jojoba oil, helichrysum, hopefully I'm saying that right, cypress oil, frankincense, lavender, geranium, and sandalwood. So it's got some really beautiful essential oils in it to help. You apply 2 to 4 drops as often as desired to calm irritated hemorrhoids or the piles and surrounding areas. So you just apply a little bit of that. Can you see it? Yeah, you just apply a little bit. Lasts a very, very long time. And you can find this on our website, OK Be Healthy. But yeah, we get this from Australia. So it's very, very good stuff. Okay. And next but not least, or not last but not least, we have just a couple more. Let me see if I can just get through these really fast. Okay. Ludivina Rodriguez. Hi, what would you advise for forgetfulness? Weak memory? Thanks. We just made a mindful tincture. Jonas has a mindful tincture he just made. I love the herbs that we put in these. It's ginkgo biloba, gotu kola, Korean ginseng, sage. So it's infused with wonderful herbs to help with the mind, for memory, for focus, for cognitive function, memory loss. So great herbs to help. You can also take those herbs in a tea if you want, if you have some of those at home, or in a capsule form. Also making sure you drink enough water, make sure your diet is good, make sure you're exercising the brain, right? Using your memory cards or your retemery cards, like I talked about early. Memorizing is important. Exercise your brain, drinking water. Are you on medications that can cause forgetfulness? Alzheimer's, dementia, like statin drugs. Statin drugs block the CoQ10 pathway, which also stops cholesterol and all these things. And your brain needs cholesterol. So if you're on statins, you may want to double check that, double think that, and actually just change your diet and lifestyle so you don't have to be on those and lose your mind, literally. Okay. Julinda Ross says, hi, rosacea, what to wash my face with naturally? Thanks. Change the diet, take out all the food allergens. Number 1, make sure you're drinking enough water. And I like to use salt. I have a pink Himalayan salt stone that I like to use, or we have that on the website, or you can use just little granules of salt and gently scrub. If scrubbing's too rough, make a saturated salt solution and rinse the face with salt water, or just dab the salt on the face, or spray bottle with salt and let it dry. So there's different ways you can use salt, but salt is very healing. This one is from Martha Henderson. What is the best natural way to lower my blood sugar? It says that it stays at 300. I've been given many pharmaceutical drugs, metformin, all 3 shots, more drugs with horrible side effects. She's taking berberine, cinnamon, but not sure of quality I'm used to. Number 1, diet. You got to change your diet. You got to stay away from refined carbohydrates. None. 0. No breads, no nut pastas, no noodles, no white potatoes. You got to get it under control, because 300 isn't ideal, right? We don't want that for you. So you got to get that under control by changing your diet, changing your exercise, changing your routines. You need to change things up. Make sure you're drinking water. There's some really good herbs that you can look into. Black seed, which we just were reading about earlier in the live. Wild yam cream balances your hormones, which we know that your pancreas makes hormones, different kinds of hormones to regulate your sugar. Berberine can be naturally found in golden seal and barberry. It's a compound there. You have cinnamon, which you said. You have cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper helps move the blood. Bitter melon, fenugreek, ginger, gemina, chromium. Chromium helps you not crave sweet. So anybody who's craving sweet, chromium's good. Turmeric, cedarberry, holy basil. These are some other great herbs that you can look into taking. But number 1, stop eating sweets. No sweets, nothing, 0. You don't need it. If you need something sweet, green apple, and that's that, right? And see how that goes for you. But otherwise, vegetables galore, water galore, good protein, healthy fat like avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, healthy fiber, all your dark leafy greens, all your there's so many leafy greens. You can eat the savory fruits. You can have tomato. You can have carrot. You can have, what else? The avocado and things like that. That's fine. But yeah, you got to watch the carbohydrates, the refined carbohydrates, even watch the rice, watch, pasta, even gluten-free noodles and things, you got to watch it. And it may not be worth it. It might just be better to eat, your protein, your good fat, and your good fiber, call it good. And just develop a taste for nothing sweet. Nothing sweet. Carrie says, my husband has AFib, has recently turned 50. And besides hawthorn berry and cayenne, is there anything else recommended? Diet. What is he eating? Just like I was saying a minute ago, you got to go through the diet. Make sure you're eating all the good things that support heart health and not hinder heart health. And so you've got to make sure that you're on it. We love our husbands. Husbands, love your wives and eat good food. And love your family. When you eat well, you take care of your body, and you are a living example of loving other people too. Because when you love other people, you love to take care of yourself, and you love to take care of yourself because you love other people and you want to feel good for them and you want to be there for them. And I'm going to cry and I don't know why. Okay. So, you can treat, okay. Doctor treats with meds so I was looking at how doctors treat AFib with medication, and the things that they look in the most is blood thinning. They look into thinning the blood. This is what they do when someone has AFib. They think, okay, how can we thin your blood? And that's with rat poison. So you don't want to do that. Use cayenne pepper instead. So definitely be taking cayenne pepper. Don't miss a day. Don't miss a moment to take your cayenne. And then the other thing they want to control is heartbeat control. And so your hawthorn berry is helpful for the heart. Also, magnesium relaxes the heart. So use natural things for this. Use magnesium, use your cayenne pepper, use your hawthorn berry, use things that are heart strengthening, eat vegetables and fruits, drink water. Avoid things that are hurting the body. Remember, don't eat things that are hurting the heart. Eat good things, good fat, good fiber, good protein. These are really great for you. Linda says, I can't raise my right thumb up, but I can bend it into my palm. So she can't move her thumb. She can't raise it up. She can bend it in, but she can't raise it up. Maybe like that. I don't know. We'll see. I woke up one morning like this. What can I do to help? Unable to give something. So I would start rubbing castor oil into the thumb or wearing a castor oil compress around the thumb, all the time to see if that gets going. Start taking cayenne pepper. Also think about comfrey salve, and you can make sure you're drinking water, staying hydrated. Hydration is key, important for the synovial fluid in the joints. It's composed of water. Make sure you're getting your minerals. Consider going on wild yam cream to balance your hormones and help with bone building and renewing. So that's where I would start with that. You can also do hydrotherapy, where you put the hand in hot water for 3 minutes and then in ice cold water for 30 seconds for a cycle of 3. Okay, that can help move the blood. Okay. Renee said diverticulosis. We talked about that last week. The best way to repair the gut is to stop the foods that are hurting the gut. Start taking a probiotic 45 minutes before breakfast. Start taking some aloe water, 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night, before you eat and before you go to bed. Start using slippery elm, 1 teaspoon in about a half a cup of water. You mix it fast and you drink it down. And that acts as a primer for your internal surfaces, because this is just, a hollow tube from mouth to end. And so you can prime that with slippery elm and aloe. Those are good healers. There's also something called, gut repair powder. You can strengthen your hydrochloric acid by using a digest tea. Strengthen that hydrochloric acid. Don't drink with your meals. 30 minutes before, an hour and a half after is a good time to stop. So 30 minutes before, stop drinking. An hour and a half after a meal, you can start drinking again. Make sure you're hydrated. Hydration, water is what helps make our hydrochloric acid. So these are some things you can do to kind of start seeing repair in the gut. A very quick quick version. Melly says, what is best to apply to belly to moisturize while pregnant? You know, some of my favorites are our skin clear salve, because it has great things for the skin. It has chamomile and calendula, some wonderful things for the skin, specifically herbs for the skin. Calendula is best for diaper rash. I'm telling you, calendula is my go-to for any kind of terrible rash, especially diaper rash, angry rash, red at rash. Calendula is wonderful. Chamomile is wonderful. Jack's made a tallow beauty cream, and this one's infused with rose and frankincense, and those are good for the skin as well. If you want something like a tallow, it's full of vitamins as well. Very nourishing for the skin. Or if you want to do something more plant-based, I would look into our calendula salve or our skin salve. You can also look into shea butter. Yeah, so those are some things I would consider. When I was pregnant with the boys, I used a lot of calendula and I used a lot of shea butter. And yeah, I didn't know too much about tallow then. But I've been using it on my face and I love it. It's just so moist. I go between that and my Glow Beauty Cream. I like them both. Okay, Janetta says, hi, I would love to know how to get rid of skin tags and what causes them. Refined sugar. Refined sugar and caffeine make skin tags and moles and skin issues bigger and inflamed and irritated. I know because one, it used to happen to me when I drank caffeine and ate a lot of sugar, but also it seems to just feed that. So prove all things, hold fast, that was good. Yeah, I might say things and you're like, that lady is crazy. She does not know what she's talking about. I am not about to give that up. Are you crazy? But I'm telling you, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Prove it to yourself. I don't have to prove it to you. You know, I'm going to get off this live and I'm going to go make some herb mixes and I'm going to go, you know, help some people and, you know, but it's just good for you to think about it and see if you can try it and see what happens. You're not going to, it's not going to do anything if it doesn't work, right? Doesn't hurt to try. Okay. So what was I even talking about? Skin tags. Yeah. You can also topically apply oregano or tea tree topically. And my son has a few different a few different salves for it. But that's what I would look into doing is stop all the culprits and then start on oregano or tea tree or yeah, topically. Linda Ruth, what to do for, it's so funny, she wrote 4 terrible sinus as one word. So I thought this was really some strange diagnosis. 4 terrible sinus. I was like, what is that? I've never heard of this. But 4 terrible sinuses and sore throat. Well, earlier I was talking about eating raw onion, cutting an onion, putting onion in your home in bowls chopped up to help with sinuses and just help remove toxins from the air. But also you can sniff golden seal. You put golden seal in your snuff dip. This is a snuff dip. Don't put snuff there. Just put golden seal. And you can sniff a little bit on this side, sniff a little bit on that side, hold the other nostril shut as you're sniffing through one side. And you just sniff a little bit, probably 1/16 of a teaspoon or half of that, even. What would that be? 15, 30, 31, 30, 32, 1/32 of a teaspoon, very small amount. And you sniff that. It helps to the sinus cavities, the mucous membranes. I like, when I get a sore throat, I like to take a shot of cayenne pepper. I like to use oregano, take oregano capsules. There are Zand lozenges that I like with the menthol in them, infused with either eucalyptus or peppermint. I like to use that. I like to make teas with either chamomile or peppermint, something soothing, and with some honey. I don't typically eat a lot of honey. I just really don't care for it's too much sweet sometimes. And even if I drink a tea, I prefer it non-sweet. But if I have a sore throat, I might either eat a little bit of Manuka honey and then drink my tea, to kind of coat the throat, or I might put a little Manuka honey in my tea. And so it's up to you, but definitely get that honey going. Chamomile peppermint tea, try some raw onion. You can try a saltwater rinse, which is a cup of warm water and salt. Basically, you're gargling it, the salt, and you're just spitting it out. High doses of vitamin C, those are good too. There's always the zinc and the D3 and the B12. There's always those things. I also like to gargle with liquid zinc. So we have some at the store, and you just put the zinc, the liquid zinc in the throat, and you gargle. And that one I do swallow because it's expensive. And so I do swallow that. So I might gargle it for 15 seconds and then I swallow it. What else? But you could do that after you gargle with salt water. So gargle with the salt, spit that out, and then gargle with the zinc and swallow that. That'll kind of help flush bacteria, and then you're not drinking so much. But if you have strong hydrochloric acid, your body's got this. Your body can handle whatever comes to the stomach. Okay. Mel says what to look for in a good rebounder. You want something that doesn't hurt your knees. Try some of your, if you know a friend that has one, try it, see if you like it. I was fortunate enough to try a lot of rebounders as I was traveling, and I found one that I really liked at someone's house. It's called Newan, Newan, and Amazon has them for like starting at $70, and they're great. I noticed my knees didn't hurt. It doesn't feel like I'm jumping on cement. And there weren't springs. I don't care for the ones that have springs, the metal springs. I like the ones that have more of the rubber sides, or the almost like a little bungee cords around the edges. Obviously, if you ever jumped on a Bellicon, amazing. Feels like you're jumping on a cloud, but they're very expensive. But I like the Newan, Newan. Those jump well. And I have one at the house. I have a really old school rebounder. I forget what it's called. It's rough on my knees. It's not one of my favorites, but it'll work if you want to sit on it, especially, and just work the upper lymphatic system. Okay, 3 more questions, and I'm going to get going. I was going a little late today, but I wanted to get all these done for you. Stacy says, I've heard that if you take progesterone, such as wild yam cream, well into menopause, then it's too late to take it, and it won't work because it should have been started sooner into menopause. That's not true. No, just read all Dr. John Lee's case studies and all of his findings. It's fantastic. You can tell those people, if they're doctors, to read those books. It's really important for them to be educated and understand from other people's case studies and what their patients have shown them. Remember, your proof is your testimony. This is proof. These people, when you tell your testimony, it is your proof. It is your truth. It is your story. It is powerful. It is very important. God, and even God will put your testimony in you. And he has a plan for your testimony, because you see that when God is talking about Joseph, and he says that his testimony was in Joseph. Like all the things that Joseph went through, that was his testimony, that was his truth, that was his trial, but he had great triumph after that trial. It's so cool. So, praise God in all things. You might be going through a really difficult time right now in your health. Praise the Lord. Find the positive in it. Although sometimes it can be very difficult, and be very, what's the word I want? Be very thankful for the testimony coming your way, and the testimony you're going to be able to tell people, and the truth that you're going to be able to tell people, and you're going to be able to encourage them to heal from same things, because you've proved it, you've tried it, and then you're on display of it for that healing. So it's a good thing, because it's testimony to God too. When you heal his way, you are testimony to healing the way he intended it to be, not through medication, not through a protocol, not through anything but the Lord, your God. He's amazing. He's incredible. He's made our bodies to heal. And Jesus Christ paid the price for it. So, hey, cash in on that amazing coupon, that gift card, that gift that he has given us for that healing. Okay. So back to so I don't believe that I would have them read those books and kind of educate themselves on that outside of the medical box, the pharmaceutical textbook, so to speak. I am 60 and have not done any type of estrogen replacement. Is it too late? No, it's not too late. It's only too late when we stop breathing. But even then, our second, we get to live again, and we get to live forever, and we don't have to be in this flesh suit anymore. We get to have a perfect body one day, but it's not too late. It's not too late. You still have blood in your body. It says the life of the flesh is in the blood. God made our body to heal. We're constantly being rebuilt and remade every day. Our body is constantly being remade. It's a beautiful factory inside here that's working the way God made it to work, to replenish, to renew. So we can rejoice in that by taking care of our body, by giving it the right things so it can take care of us. So no, I don't believe it's too late at all. And there's too many testimonies that say otherwise. So get on wild yam cream. So start finding, buying some good wild yam cream. We happen to make some whipped wild yam cream. I would suggest starting it right away. Depending on if you have any symptoms, you could just start with the regular and you can work your way up. If you have hot flushes, you could try the plus. If you have extreme hormonal imbalances like not sleeping, hair loss, low libido, vaginal dryness, weight gain, inflammation, osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And this is not just for women, it's for men. Thyroid problems, you name it, then yes, get on wild yam cream. You could try extreme if you want to, but definitely everyone will find great benefits from just using the regular. And sometimes you need to be on it for about a year. Our bottles last about 3 months. So here is the regular. This is the one I love, and this one I use. It's the original, and I like original things. I don't really change too much, but sometimes it's good to kind of make things custom for people because we're not all the same and we might need different things. Okay, so no, it's not too late. Definitely get on some wild yam cream and make some changes in your diet. Make sure you're wearing natural clothing. Avoid things that cause hormonal imbalances like synthetic food and synthetic clothing and such. Okay, 2 more questions. Nicole says, any recommendations for someone who developed drop foot about 2 months ago, had a lower herniated disc, and was told if proceeded with back surgery, it could potentially correct the drop foot? I wouldn't do surgery for herniated disc and drop foot. Personally, that's just me. It's been a little over a month with no improvement. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. So personally, I wouldn't do that surgery for that. I would kind of look back at my history, what happened when that started. You said something about herniated disc. I would definitely go see a holistic chiropractor and have them help you. They have things called compression tables, I believe they're called, or decompression tables, where they slowly kind of pull on the spine. They have you on a table. It worked wonders when I had a herniated disc. Loved it. I couldn't walk. It was so bad. It was so bad. But I know why that happened. I know why I injured myself. 1, I was dehydrated, wasn't drinking enough water. And then I picked something up I shouldn't be picking up, too heavy for me. I have 5 boys. I should let them do it for me. My husband's one of my boys. I just have 4 boys technically, but my husband's the 5th. So I should let them pick up those heavy things. So be careful. But comfrey salve over the herniated disc will help a lot. Drinking plenty of water will help. Resting will help. Hot, cold will help. Heat and cold will help that heal. Rest for sure though. And then the drop foot, I would start doing hydrotherapy. As long as you don't have neuropathy, that's 3 minutes hot water with the foot, 30 seconds cold water for a cycle of 3. You can do this. It takes about a little less than 15 minutes, and you can do this as many times a day as you want to. You'll find great relief. Brings new blood in, and that's the point. We bring new blood in, old blood out, new blood in. The life of the flesh is in the blood. When we get new blood, we get healing. I would start taking cayenne pepper. I would consider taking St. John's wort because it's a nerve nourisher and it helps the nerves. I would even consider rubbing the St. John's wort from the bottom of my neck, the top of my neck here, all the way down to the base of my spine. Possibly massaging some oil into the foot. You could try comfrey salve massage into the foot, or comfrey oil. You can try castor oil compresses wrapped around the foot. It's great to do a compress or a poultice after you've done the hydrotherapy. It works great hand in hand. It's like a superpower charge when you do the hydrotherapy and you go straight from hydrotherapy to a poultice or a compress or a salve or an ointment. So that's what I would do for that. Personally, I would not do surgery for that. Also, do you have any kind of implants? Do you have any kind of dental implants? Because that can cause a lot of nerve problems and a lot of nerve issues, a lot of disease. There is a link between the teeth and the whole body. So if you have infection in the mouth, you're getting that infection and that bacteria all through the bloodstream, all through the body. But there is a correlation between teeth health and body health. So if you've had any kind of surgeries, guys, if you ever smell rot, right? That smell, or you taste it, you need to look into that. You need to make sure that you have no infection in the tooth. Implants can turn gnarly, especially if they're made with metal or they've had an infection in there. So root canals, crowns, these are things to look at and think about. No other no other arm of how do I want to say that? No one else leaves dead parts in the body, dead organs. And so when we do things like a root canal, and we leave a dead tooth in, the body doesn't want it in there. It wants it out. It's dead. It's going to cause disease, right? As soon as something is dead, the body is designed to start decomposing it. And so when we have a dead tooth in the mouth, the body's design is it's starting to die, and you don't want that in your bloodstream. So personally, I would just have my tooth pulled, especially if it's in the back, or look into ceramic implant, but never metal. And root canals, just be really mindful, guys, of what you're doing, and pay attention if it ever starts to get infected or stink, or you get cyst or swelling, or, these are things you have to be mindful of. Okay, Lily Peter says, hello, Jacqueline. I'm meant to be having a colonoscopy in a few weeks' time because I have had issues for a couple of years or so with not being able to empty my bowels and blood and stools, etc. Despite trying colon tea, castor oil packs, milled flax seeds, lots of water, and a good diet, I wonder, is there anything else I can try, and is there any dangers in having a colonoscopy? I'm concerned about them taking a small sample of the colon, and is this in itself may cause harm? What are your thoughts, please? Thank you so much. I won't ever have a colonoscopy, but that's just my choice, as is your choice as well, whether you want to or not. That's up to you. But you can't be forced to do it, and you don't have to do it, and you shouldn't be feared into it either. But if you want to do one, that's up to you to do. Personally, I would address why I'm not going to the bathroom. Exercise is so important to create peristalsis in the colon. So if you are not exercising, you need to be exercising, doing squats, and exercising crazy. Colon tea is great, but it's not forever, and you may not be taking enough. Colon tea is one of the things you take more if you're still not finding relief. You take more, you drink more, and you drink it more often. So also you've had this going on for years. So how long have you been doing the diet change and the colon tea and the flaxseed? Because that's going to take time. It doesn't just take a week or two, or even, a month or two. It's going to take some time to get that new system going. I'd also like to ask, what time do you wake up? Because I know the colon is an early riser. And so the earlier you get up, the exercise, you drink your water, you're active, the colon will start to respond, because the colon is awake then too. So it's important to be up early, going to bed on time, getting sunshine, trusting in the Lord, obviously, always, exercising and getting good nutrition. I would suggest drinking a smoothie every day and loading the smoothie with wonderful fiber and wonderful things that are going to help you stay regular. That's your dark leafy greens, that's berries, putting water in it. Maybe avoid synthetic proteins and just have a bowl of beans instead, right? Have a big bowl of beans on the side. Perhaps go to a plant-based diet. Perhaps meat is causing you to be far too constipated. So there's lots of questions you need to ask yourself, but I would definitely load up a smoothie with lots of greens. It is important that you're going. You do want to address the blood in the stool. There's a gut repair powder you can take. There's slippery elm powder you can take. But it's kind of a big question, and there's a lot of history there I can see. But that gives you a little bit of answers to kind of decide. But really, always, guys, always do what you think is best for you. I am not a doctor, and I'm not giving medical advice. I am just simply giving some natural remedies on what are some other things you can do and what you can look into, and testimonies. I've heard so many wonderful testimonies this past month of just all these natural healing remedies, people just getting off medications and using herbs and drinking water and exercising, and they're just becoming different people. I love it. It's amazing. Keep up the great work. That's all I have for today. I know I went a little bit later, but I really wanted to answer all those questions for you guys. I will see you next Friday. Have a fantastic day. I don't think I had anything else to say, and I don't have any time for any more questions. I'm so sorry, but I will be here again next Friday, and I'll be here on Wednesday too, Wednesday and Friday. So I'll see you guys then. If you need consultation, feel free to schedule. If you need anything from the store, feel free to call if you have questions about the product. We can't do consultations over the phone or answer lengthy questions over the phone because we have a high volume of calls, but we can definitely help you put your order together. You can call and talk to Janine. She's from Tennessee, and she just has the sweetest accent. And she'll say, oh, bless your heart, at least once when you place an order. And the number here is 405-837-5379 if you need anything. I'm here today off and on. I am organizing some herbs and doing things here and there. But if you need to come in and chat about anything health-wise, I think that's all I got. Let me make sure. Okay, so I'm praying for all of you. Please pray for each other. As you can see, there's a lot of health issues and there's a lot of health questions, but I might not be able to answer them all. And I may not even be giving all the right information that God has truly designed to be ideal for some of these diagnoses and symptoms. But He knows everything, and He knows you, and He knows what you need to do. And so I encourage you to go to God in your relationship with Him every morning. Pray, start your day with prayer. And take your requests to Him, whatever's on your heart, especially when it comes to your health. Okay, in all things, give thanks. So have a great, thankful week, and be praying for each other. And I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye. Okay, be healthy, pals.